As if learning jazz over High High the Moon was not hard enough, John Coltrane went on and put on the Coltrane changes. Cheers, Lewis. But do not be dismayed. I am here, your jazz lady, about to kill the lesson. I think we can all agree that John Coltrane left a very heavy legacy. Within that legacy, he also left the Coltrane changes, which are not particularly talked about enough. And I can understand because they're very challenging. They're very challenging for me. But I think it's worthy to talk about because during his time of giant steps, he didn't only use these changes in the way that we know them, G, B, E flat, the major third intervals, but he also used them in minor third intervals, like in the tune Central Park West. And in the studying that I've done of Coltrane so far, I've found that he's used the changes in many, many different ways. He's taken song forms of standard jazz tunes that we know and superimposed these changes perfectly within that form, like Body and Soul, 26-2, and today I particularly want to talk about what he did to How High the Moon via the tune called Satellite. It's based off of the changes of How High the Moon. Somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. What Coltrane did was he took that form and he said, the exact same form, but he changed the melody and he put the Coltrane changes of them. Now let's actually talk about what's actually happening in this song. Okay guys, so let's talk about what is actually happening in Satellite through How High the Moon. Okay, first of all, How High the Moon is composed in a way where it's going down tonally. It starts in the key of G major, that's the key which it's written in, G major, and then it goes down to F major, and then it goes down to E flat major, like this. By way of 2 5s, by way of taking the previous major, turning it into the minor, which becomes the 2 of the next chord that we are approaching. The G major becomes minor, which becomes a 2 of F major. And obviously we need to go to the 5 first, to F major. F major then becomes minor, which is the 2 of E flat major. And then we need to go to its 5. Okay, and then it does a 2-5 back to the home key. Now what John Coltrane does is that he superimposes the Coltrane changes the same way that we find it in Giant Steps. Giant Steps uses the whole tone cycle where we would find major third intervals in there. So it does that in G major and then does that in F major and does that in E flat major. And he's changed the melody up a bit. the melody is, then we would move to B flat major, because remember our tonal centers here are these three, so we need to get through these tonal centers before we can move on to the next key. And the only way we would be able to do that is if we jump. It's actually going down this way, not like this. So G major, then we would need to go to the 5 of the next key, which is E flat major, to the 1. Then we would need to go to the 5 of B major, because now the next one is B major. Then we find ourselves back at G, and we need to go to the 5 of G, but the 5 of G minor, because remember in How High the Moon we now have a G minor, to the 5, and then it takes us to F. Okay, and it does the same thing in F. We do the 5 of D flat, then we need the 5 of A. Okay, then we need the 5 of F again, but F minor. This is basically exactly what happens in How High the Moon. Then instead of going which is a typical ending for most jazz standards, John Coltrane does a turnaround that includes his own changes. So oh, actually, it doesn't do that. So it does. Same thing. Yeah.